My name is Moon Petrie, and it has been a minute. I'm sorry, I've had a lot going on. A few things have happened since then. So I got vaccinated. I had my second dose almost a week ago. We put up a bird feeder. We got some fruit trees. This is our very tiny brand new apple tree. It's already trying to make apples. And the peach tree. I do not know how this will hold up peaches when they are, bigger than olives. We got some more blueberry bushes. The roses are very excited to bloom. The usual kid craziness, plus I have been continuing to move forward with my query prep. So, what have I been doing? Something a lot of people talk about is getting names of agents via the acknowledgments in all of the books on your bookcase or at your library. I don't buy a ton of brand new books, and my library has been closed to browsing, oh goodness, for a year mostly. And so we can request things and pick them up curbside, but to request 100 titles just to look through them for a minute and then bring them all back, I have not put my librarians through that. They have been through enough. I was able to do a little bit of the browsing my own bookshelves, and then I took a slightly different approach to the library borrowing. I checked things out from my library online. I use the app called Libby, and I can check things out from my statewide library system of ebooks and audiobooks. Audiobooks are not much help with this. At any rate, I spent a long time checking out a book, looking back at the acknowledgments, jotting stuff down, returning the book, checking out another book. It's slower than being able to just take something off the shelf at the library, but COVID changed a lot of things, and if that step in my process was a little bit slower, that is not much to complain about. I also looked at a magazine online that was science fiction, fantasy specific, but not YA specific. And they publish every month a roundup of recent sales to publishers and who the agent was that facilitated the sale. So at least then these are agents who are selling stuff and you can see who they sold it to. I got a lot of names of agents and then found their agencies and looked through the agency websites to see what agents might be interested in YA fantasy. I tried to make a spreadsheet using Excel. It crashed and I lost the stuff that I had put into the spreadsheet. I got very frustrated. Because I am from the 80s and still remember a time when there were Rolodexes and card catalogs at libraries, I decided to do this step in an old school fashion. Excuse the cat feet. This is a bunch of index card dividers. This is a bunch of index cards. This is my handy dandy index card catalog. This is my cat. I used the dividers to make sections for each of the agencies on my list, and then filled out agent cards like this for each agent that I thought was a possibility within any given agency. And I have prioritized a handful of them with green tags. So now I have 16 flagged that will be among the first I have made note of who is currently open to submissions, although that could change any day. And I am not going to send to all 16 right away, but at least 6, maybe 7 or 8 in my first round. So I have a good idea of who I am querying. I also used manuscript wish list and looked at various agents' blogs or whatever information that they've put out to see who would be a good fit, and made note of anything particularly noteworthy, anything that would fit my book that they are speaking highly of or looking for specifically, or anything where I felt like I clicked and there might be a way to personalize a query. Then I got a subscription to Query Tracker Pro. It has a free version and a bunch of stuff is available there, but I got the pro version because it's only $25 a year. So that is my kind of not free. And it's pretty cool. You can see Harley Davidsons going by my house. You can see a lot more information than you can get anywhere else that I have been able to find in terms of response times in particular, and percentages of queries that are getting a response, and a lot of detailed information that you can see there about any individual agent. The other thing you can do with Query Tracker Pro, and the reason that it has so much information about when people have queried them and what the outcomes were for the people, is because people use it to track their querying process. So I have not set it up for that yet. That is a next step. I went back. It had been almost a month, a lot longer than I had intended, before I went back to do a final read through. I've done a final read through. It was a little bit crazy reading it and editing so very, very little after having done so many big overhauls or medium, fairly significant overhauls, and just going through and making dainty little changes very occasionally. And so I have done that read through. I think it's a pretty good book. I think I have a pretty healthy mindset about it. I don't think it's amazing and everyone will love it. And I don't think, oh, it's garbage and everyone will hate it. So I'm feeling okay about it and reasonably proud of it. So that's good. I have yet to read through the query and synopsis that I wrote before the last major revision. So I think the query has been touched up a bit during that process, but the synopsis is definitely going to need a little tweaking because I combined some characters and tied things together a little bit differently in this final version. So that is on the to-do list. That was supposed to be today. I don't know. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. But that's where I am at. That is what I have done. I am poised on the brink. I am right there on the edge, and it's intimidating. I think it was slower for me to get to the read through and slower for me to read through it because it's hard to finish, not necessarily to get the thing done, but to acknowledge, to admit to myself that the thing is done and I need to move on. And basically, as long as I am saying this is my work in progress, I'm not being judged on it as though it is a completed work. And now I'm saying it is complete. This is the best I can do with this. Please judge me. That's intense. So I am excited. But yeah, I have been dragging my feet a little through this process because that is intense. And my father is a painter, and he always said it isn't done until it's behind glass. And that's not because you don't want to change anything or add anything or fix anything. It's because now it's behind glass and there's nothing you can do about it. So I am just gonna put it behind glass and go through the query process and only make any significant revisions. Nope. Only make any revisions at all after I get actual substantive feedback from agents. If I get a personal rejection with advice for how I can make it better, I will consider taking the glass off. But until then, it is the way it's gonna stay, and I need to walk away. So now I get to tweak my query and my synopsis, and tweak my list and see which of those 16 are gonna be my very first. I'm super excited, and I just wanted to share that with everyone. I will keep you posted. Until next time, I am Moon Petrie. Wish me luck.